Have you ever said yes while something inside you screamed no? That moment, a smile pasted on your face, heart tight, energy drained, is not small. It is a soul-level betrayal. And we do it constantly. You hold back your truth to avoid conflict. You help others even when it empties you. You swallow anger. You agree out of guilt. You soften your voice so you don't seem too much. This is not kindness. This is not maturity. This is people-pleasing, a subtle, socially rewarded form of self-abandonment. Carl Jung didn't write a self-help book on saying no. But his work, especially around the shadow, persona, and individuation, gives us one of the deepest blueprints for breaking free of people-pleasing and finally coming home to ourselves. This is not about learning a few assertive phrases or 5 tricks to be more confident. This is about rewiring your relationship to identity, worth, truth, and fear. Let's dive. People-pleasing is often mistaken for being nice. But kindness, at its core, is authentic. People-pleasing is performative. It is the art of managing others' emotions at the expense of your own truth. It's saying yes to avoid guilt. It's avoiding your own needs because you fear being called selfish. It's shape-shifting to avoid conflict, rejection, or disapproval. The root of people-pleasing is fear. Fear of abandonment. Fear of not being enough. Fear of being too much. It is the body's ancient survival strategy wrapped in modern politeness. In Jungian terms, it is what happens when the persona, the mask we wear to survive in the social world, becomes fused with our sense of self. We forget we're wearing a mask. And the price? Chronic resentment, exhaustion, anxiety, depression, and the haunting sense that we are unknown, even to ourselves. Jung described the persona as a necessary construct. It's the social mask we present to the world, our professional demeanor, our public politeness, our curated Instagram identity. Without a persona, we couldn't function socially. But problems arise when we identify only with the persona, mistaking it for the whole self. When we forget there is a deeper, more raw, more real person underneath. People-pleasers often create personas that are highly adaptive, the good daughter, the reliable friend, the helpful coworker, the understanding partner. But these roles become prisons. You begin to live for the perception others have of you, not for the truth that lives within you. Jung believed that healing comes through integration, the process of making the unconscious conscious. And to integrate, we must confront what we've hidden, the parts of us we've exiled to please others. No one is born a people-pleaser. We become that way out of necessity. A child who learns that love is conditional, that anger is punished, sadness is ignored, and independence is called difficult, adapts to survive. She smiles when she's hurting. He apologizes for taking up space. They anticipate what others want before they even speak. This adaptation becomes identity. But it is not your truth, it is a strategy. Jung's work invites us to look at these childhood adaptations not as flaws, but as intelligent responses to emotional environments. But now, as adults, the strategy is outdated. It keeps us small, stuck, and disconnected. You don't owe anyone the version of you they trained you to be. Jung's most powerful concept for people-pleasers is the shadow. The shadow is everything we repress: anger, sexuality, ambition, assertiveness, power, selfishness. For the people-pleaser, these traits are often seen as dangerous. So we exile them. But what we repress doesn't disappear, it festers. It shows up as passive-aggressive behavior, secret resentment, silent suffering, burnout masked as being helpful. To heal, we must reclaim the shadow. This means allowing ourselves to feel and express anger without shame, say no without explanation, prioritize our needs without guilt, be disliked without collapsing. Your shadow is not your enemy, it is your power waiting to be owned. One of the deepest fears for the people-pleaser is being disliked. Rejection feels like annihilation. Why? Because your nervous system equates disapproval with danger. Early on, your safety depended on being pleasing, emotionally, physically, energetically. As adults, this becomes an irrational survival pattern. We avoid saying no, we don't express our needs, we minimize ourselves, all to avoid potential rejection. Jung teaches us to meet our fears not with denial, but with curiosity. Ask yourself, who am I afraid will leave if I stop pleasing? What part of me believes I must earn love? When did I learn that being myself was dangerous? The answers will lead you to your healing. Being good sounds noble. But often, it's a trap. The identity of being good, nice, selfless, agreeable, can become a cage. You suppress your humanity to maintain the image. You become conflict avoidant. You stop growing. Carl Jung reminds us that wholeness is more important than goodness. True self-love is not about being good. It's about being real. That means making space for messiness, contradictions, boundaries, anger, unapologetic joy. You cannot grow into your full self while clinging to the identity of the pleaser. One of the first signs of healing is the return of your voice. At first, it may shake. It may come out in whispers. But eventually, it roars. People-pleasing silences your inner voice in favor of external noise. The opinions, judgments, and moods of others become your compass. To reclaim your voice, spend time in solitude, journal your truth daily, practice saying no in low-risk situations, speak even when it's uncomfortable. It is not your job to manage how others feel about your truth. It is your job to honor it. Healing people-pleasing is not about instant confidence. It's about building emotional tolerance for discomfort. You will feel guilt. You will feel doubt. You will feel fear. But those feelings are not signs you're doing it wrong. They are signs you're doing it differently. Carl Jung taught that the path to wholeness is often dark and uncomfortable. He called it the process of individuation, becoming a whole, integrated person. That process requires you to choose truth over comfort, integrity over harmony, freedom over safety. Use these practical practices for rewiring. 1. Daily shadow dialogues. Write a short dialogue with a repressed part of you, anger, selfishness, desire. Ask what it wants, let it speak, no censoring. 2. The authenticity check-in. Before saying yes, pause. Ask, am I doing this from love or fear? 3. Mirror work. Look into your own eyes and speak a boundary or truth aloud. Practice making eye contact with your own soul. 4. Body scanning. Learn to feel how your body responds to dishonesty. Tight chest. Dry mouth. That's your truth trying to speak. 5. Discomfort rehearsal. Intentionally do small acts of non-pleasing, don't over-explain. Say no. Ask for what you want. Let the discomfort come and pass. Stopping people-pleasing doesn't mean becoming rude or selfish. It means becoming whole. When you integrate your shadow, step out from behind your persona, and honor your inner truth, you become magnetic, real, free. You live with less anxiety, less resentment, and more grounded power. People may not always like the real you, but the right people will love you for it. And more importantly, you will respect yourself. Carl Jung said, the most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. But it is also the most liberating. So start here. Say no, speak up, choose you. Not because you've stopped caring, but because you've finally started living.